Shalom. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. All right, so I've been thinking all day in the spirit. You know how I'm gonna speak for myself. Sometimes I'll be complaining in my head. Hey, fuck, man, It'd be sounding like excuses in my mind, and sometimes I have to rebuke myself and just understand you have to go with the flow, you gotta let things happen. The one thing, as I was kind of checking myself, I started thinking, I'm like, what the? I know there's regular, normal Joe Schmo people out there, and then, of course, spiritual brothers, man, who go through way more than what I go through, but don't make an excuse for what they're going through. So I might title this lesson, Some Bros or Some Brothers, quote unquote, excuses will make yours sound like a complaint. You see what I'm saying? Some bros' excuses may make your excuse sound like a complaint. Almost like, for a lack of better words, and excuse my French, like you're just bitching, bro. Just keep it straight. Just keep it straight, because I got to keep it straight with myself. So I'm going to keep it straight with you. You, Akim, are the ones who decide to click on this lesson. All right, so I have this word excuse right here. It says attempt to lessen the blame attaching to a fault or offense, seek to defend or justify. The scriptures talk about justifying yourself, man. Let the Lord justify you. For you to come up with an excuse why you can't do this or why you can't do that, and da-da-da-da-da-da. At that point, you're kind of just bitching. And there's probably men out there who hear you making that excuse and look at you kind of like, this guy. Of course, all brothers are gentle towards one another. And let me say, and this is off topic, gentleness comes in different ways. Some brothers' gentleness may be considered rough in some other areas, in regions where there's camps or brotherhoods. I'm going to say it just like that, okay? You take it how you want it, all right? Or, perceive that how you want it, but it's just true, But at the end of the day, in a whole spectrum of things, a spiritual individual's has a keen spiritual eye who reads about be gentle unto all men, exercise that. However it comes off, it is, But not to keep going off topic, the point of the matter is you be saying your excuse, and another bro who may be just going through thick and thin may look at you in a way like, all right, dude, I'm hearing what you're going through. I'm not comparing, but my brother, in his head, he's saying this probably. I'm going through way more than you, but you don't see me acting like that. And of course, every bro has to go through, I guess just troublesome waters. What is it in the scripts? Boisterous winds. You see what I'm saying? I think that's how it was described when Peter was walking on the water, the boisterous winds. Every brother has to endure some wavy water. And when you're going through it, it's not the best. Like it says in the scripts, when you're going through chastisement, it doesn't feel joyous at the very moment. It doesn't. And sometimes you react in a way that maybe not be so conducive to, quote unquote, being a man. Hear me out. Y'all know what I'm getting at. So you tend to fall in a place of making an excuse of why you can't do this, that, and the third. But you got to check that shit. Because, like I said, there's individuals out there, because the scriptures say we don't go through anything that's uncommon to man. Except the difference is we don't go through it in vain. These other Joe Schmoes out here go through it in vain because they have no hope and they don't know what they're going through it for. We know why we're getting chastised. We know why we're getting judged in that sense. So it's not in vain. But people out there are going through way harder things than what you may be going through. And there's brothers who are around you that may be going through harder things, making your excuse seem like a damn complaint. So you got to catch yourself when you start, trying to excuse yourself from things, aka trying to excuse yourself from doing a lesson, trying to excuse yourself from linking up, trying to excuse yourself from going to camp or attending a class. You see what I'm saying? Trying to excuse yourself from those things because you think you're just going through something. Telling you, other brothers' afflictions, you would be like, damn, I ain't going through nothing. Let me shut the fuck up. All right? So this is 2 Corinthians 11-26. We use this all the time to paint the picture of what Paul was going through. Now, I want to say this before I read it. When I do read this, Paul is about to explain everything that he had to endure. Okay? I think even in, what is that? I think it's Acts. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Acts 19. I don't think it's Acts 19. Let me see. Salaki, bear with me. Bear with me one moment. Acts 14. Acts 14. In Acts 14, Paul was stoned to death. Okay? He was stoned. But you didn't see him making an excuse to not go right back to Antioch and preach. That would have been a legitimate excuse why he may have to, you may want to fall back because you damn near got stoned to death. You hear what I'm saying? None of us here had to endure that. A testimony just came from the brothers up in Indiana who had to endure a drive-by shooting called like Habba Shemi Awashai. There was a veil, protection around them to where no one got touched. But still, not every camp is experiencing that. Not every camp is experiencing that. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Because you could use apostles and elders had to go through things too. So, with this, 2 Corinthians 11:26, it says, in journeyings often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils of my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren, in weariness, in painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Salakia, let me read verse 25. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck, which we read about the stoned in Acts 14. Well, I mentioned it in Acts 14. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep. These are all legitimate excuses that Paul could have used. Bro, legitimate excuses. We read about Yahushua, and he had legitimate, could have been excuses. But between those two men, when did you ever see them make the excuse? That's why I'm saying you got to check yourself when you start coming to the point where you think it's going to start turning into an excuse. And really, it just sounds like you're complaining. I get what the scriptures say, but sometimes you just got to take it on the chin and understand why you're going through it. Sometimes a brother who's going through something, it could be an excuse. That what he's going through, his excuse will make yours look like just like you're bitching, man. And understand, the Lord got you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna link it with these two scripts. Job 9:20. It says, if I justify myself, which making an excuse, which we read in the inception of this lesson, is to seek to defend or justify yourself. So it says, if I justify myself, so if I excuse myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. See? If you're trying to make an excuse, if you're trying to make a quote, would you say alibi? My alibi is airtight. No, it's not. Because there's someone out there going through worse than what you're going through, but not making an excuse or a complaint, and they're still trucking on. There's a brother next to you in your own respective camp who's going through something more than you. That's making your excuse starting to sound like a complaint to get out of something. This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 19. It says, again, think ye that we excuse ourselves unto you? So what Paul is saying is, do you think I'm trying to make an excuse or, justify myself to you on this, that, and the third? We speak before the Most High and Yahweh Shai, but we do all things dearly beloved for your edifying. So pretty much say, the things that I'm going through, I'm not trying to boast or brag or make an excuse or justify myself and this, that, and the third. Things I'm going through is for your edification. Matter of fact, let's see what this reads in the NLT. 2 Corinthians 12 and 19. Let's see. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 12 and 19. Perhaps you think we're saying these things just to defend ourselves. No, we tell you this as Hamashiach's servants and with God as our witness. Everything we do, dear friends, is to strengthen you. So everything the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the trailblazers, had to go through wasn't to defend themselves to us or to make an excuse or justify themselves, anything of that nature. They don't need to justify themselves. Real talk. If you're following the doctrine of Great Millstone, the Spirit has justified them to be those type of men because of what they went through. They don't need to justify anything. The Spirit does it. Okay? So it says, perhaps you think we're saying these things just to defend ourselves. That's what you may be thinking. No. We tell you this as Hamashiach's servants and with God as our witness, Yahweh as our witness. Everything we do, so everything the apostles did, dear friends, because Paul can call himself a friend to the Corinthians because he actually died and laid his life down. Because we understand what the book of John says. He who lays his life down for his friends, that's a real friend. You see, Yahweh Shai is a real friend. Paul is a real friend. So he can say, dear friend, I'm a friend. Because I actually laid my life down in this work. It's to strengthen you. So when you feel like you're making an excuse to do this, that, and the third, you need to check yourself. You really need to check yourself. And you need to understand there's someone out there, could be your peer standing right next to you, that's going through much more than what you're going through. But you don't hear that man make a peep. He's still on point. He's still coming to camp. Still doing a lesson. Praying, fasting, doing what he has to do in the spirit. You don't hear him say a word. And what he was going through may make your excuses or whatever sound like a complaint. All right? So if you feel like you getting there, matter of fact, I'll bring this last precept out. But if you feel like you're getting there, strongly suggest to read this scripture right here. Okay? Oh, Salaki, let me get back in the KJV. Philippians 2. And 4, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. It will level you. It will bring you back to earth. It will bring, because when you start, oh, I'm going through this and then I'm going through that, and you start getting on a high horse, real talk. And you need to come back down to earth and realize you ain't the only one going through something. Okay? So, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are willing to teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom. And like always, repent, for Yahushai is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. Shalom.